morning, everybody. Lockpicking patrolman here on this wonderful Saturday. And as you can see, kittens don't really like sweet a whole lot, although I do love this song. Anyway, hope everybody's having a great Saturday so far. Let's see, we've got Rune, who was quick on the draw. He was first in the chat this morning after I set it up and everything. Like 2 seconds later, he was there. Dana Reed was very close second, followed by Miko Wolf. We've got Ronald, good morning to you. Litter Picker, good morning. Anthony, good morning. Who else do we have? Dave Addion, good morning. Fonzie Cunningham. Fonzie, what's up? GQ Man 565, how's it going today? Mad Hatter, hello to you, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you around. Who else do we have? Nate Godden, good morning. There's a sound lag. There's probably a picture lag too. I don't know. But anyway, hope that everybody is doing great today. Reason for the epic intro is that I really didn't prepare anything, so I just grabbed a bunch of random junk and we'll explore it a little bit. Yesterday was a day that I don't know what. It was a Friday full of Mondays, and when you have a rekey, and it's rekey literally 5 cylinders, quick set, 5 quick set cylinders on a new construction house. Keep them all alike. That's the only goal. Yeah, that went belly up, and then after that, I had what was the next job I had after that? Had another rekey, and it didn't go belly up, but it was a pain in the ass because two of the doors had hoppy locks on them, which are uh, multi-point locking systems for big patio doors, and they have profile cylinders. Well, the CES profile cylinders have a little plastic cap that goes down over top of the springs and everything because you don't gut it like you see in Locksport where you remove the actuator and use your little segmented followers. No, you don't do all that. What you do is you rip the old plastic cap out, put your new pins in there, which, by the way, if you ever have to key CES cylinders, you pin them one cut below. So in other words, if they're Schlage, which a lot of them are Schlage keyway, and your Schlage key is, I don't know, 348, what is it? 34862. Then you would actually do 23751. Yeah, one cut shallower on pins if you ever pin those. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, sound and picture don't match up. Hear you, then I see you say it. Okay, wow. All right. If I need to, I will switch to the other microphone. Um, Actually, let's try that. Let's try that right now. Microphones, microphone front. All right. So maybe this is a little bit better. Better. Is it better two or better one? Um, so yeah. Anyway, the deal with the CES cylinders, other than pinning them one cut below what your key is, whenever you do that, you put your bottom pins in, put your top pins, then your springs, and then you use a new CES cap, which is a little plastic cap that snaps down in there. I wish I had one, but I actually don't. But getting that cap to snap back down in there is a pain. God, it's a pain. So anyway, just keep that in mind. So I had that, and then I had to go back to a job where I had replaced some mortise cylinders because we needed to change the keyway. They were brand new doors, new construction, and in order to put those locks on the system's master, or the location's master system, I had to swap out cylinders for Sargent, and I forgot to tighten down the set screw on one of them, and so somebody, of course, spun the cylinder around, and then they couldn't get on. But not better, not better. Two turntables and a microphone. Okay. Is the lag still going on? Let's see. Let me look here. I'm about at the point where I need to just get new, just get an actual like microphone or something. First mic sounded better. It's going to be out of sync because the problem's not with the mic. Okay. Big lag. All right. Hang on just a second, y'all. We will be temporarily offline due to technical difficulties. Please stand. All right. Maybe this is better. Maybe. All right. How is this? How now, brown cow? That's what that's what the bull said when he walked into the bar. And let's see. Yeah, kittens didn't like music. Of course, come to think of it, I don't think they've actually ever heard any music played out here. So I might need to start doing that. Just set up a little speaker or something out here and stream some music to it for a while. Da, 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 da. See. Anthony, yesterday was crappy for me too. Hit me hard from the start of the day and basically never stopped. Yep. I had a Friday full of Mondays. And so after I went and fixed the mortise cylinder and put it back in the position, that was the only easy job that I had all day. And then I went from there. Well, actually, there was that, and then I had to. I went to a car sales buying place. It was basically they'll buy a car from you no matter what the condition, even if it doesn't run or whatever. And this vehicle that they had bought, actually, nice little truck, nice little Chevy truck. And the owners, previous owners, had a club. One of it is you saw it advertised in the 80s and 90s. It was the club to prevent car thefts because even if they got in, cranked it up, you couldn't turn the wheel effectively, which is BS. But they had lost the key for it, and instead of taking a die grinder in there and getting everything all messy, they called us, and so I went and picked it and got that off. Let's see. Morning, Fred. Litter picker. That fixed it. What did you do? Okay, cool. I actually just restarted the app on my phone because it's the app that I use is called You Now, and it lets you put in the streaming key from YouTube, and so it streams just like if you had something like OBS or one of those other streaming software platforms, but it's designed just to contain all that in one on your phone as an app, and instead of having to have all the other stuff. Second mic sounded much better, but both are acceptable or okay. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, right now, Anthony, I'm on my AirPods instead of the mic from the actual uh, phone. 34 degrees there. Wow, Dana. Yeah. No, we got down to, it was 43 the other morning when I went to work. But here in North Carolina, we're in that sweet, like, 2 weeks time period where you run your heat wide open in the morning and your air conditioner wide open in the afternoon. Talking about in your car, obviously not in your house, but in your car on the way to work in the mornings, you got the heat cranked all the way up, and then in the afternoons you get in and crank the AC all the way up. So that's the point that we're at right now. Uh, but it's actually kind of cool outside today. Like the three, last 3 days I was able to wear shorts for work. Tuesday was kind of chilly, but unfortunately, I think the shorts wearing weather is coming to an end. It's a shame. I love wearing shorts at work. But yeah, so I picked open that club, and then I went to uh where did I go from there? Oh, I went to go do another Reiki, and it was at a house. Long story, but a house we'd been at to move a safe because the previous owner moved close by and wanted us to move the safe. We couldn't move it because whoever installed it used, like, what is it, like 12-point Torx bits, and some sort of lag screws that they had, and we didn't have any bits or drivers for it, so we had to order them. And we got, while we were there, the owners, asked that, hey, could you look at these locks? We don't have keys for these. We want everything to be keyed the same, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Call the shop, set up an appointment. I'll come out. Now, I looked at it with them. And so I went out there for it yesterday, and it's all MTech hardware. So MTech hardware, you need to remember, anytime you see MTech, or you're going in, okay, let me back up a little bit. If you're doing rekeys in the US and it's a fancier type house, then just kind of be prepared that it's either MTech or Baldwin hardware on it. And so you want to take, in addition to your screwdriver, take your strum tool, your hook tool, whatever you call it, your Carolina roller, take that, as well as a set of Allen wrenches. Um, Take the US standard Allen wrenches with you. And because there's so much to take apart, and it's is really a pain in the ass because you have to take everything apart and then put it all back together. So just keep that in mind. But the MTech hardware, like, there was a knob that wasn't locking, and then two deadbolts, which go together. The MTech deadbolts do actually go together like most standard residential deadbolts do, where you've just got two through bolts that go into the cylinder on the front, and that tension holds everything on the door. Uh, so I get there, and everything is keyed to one key. Like front door, the knobs on these two exterior doors is all keyed alike, and I'm like, well, why don't why aren't the deadbolts keyed the same? Because it's all the same hardware. And I went and tried to put the key into the deadbolt, and it went in maybe one pin, and it wouldn't go any further. Like, okay, these doors, I mean, just looking at the hardware and the trim plates and everything, it was obvious that they were weathered. They weren't used that often. And so I said, okay, it might, probably just be a lubrication issue. So I take them out to the truck. I sprayed them down with Houdini, took my pick and started raking them, and kind of felt, most of the pins move a little bit. And so I said, okay, well, I'll try the key again. Put the key in there. Wouldn't go in, but maybe one pin length at the most. Okay. So I sprayed it with PB Blaster, penetrating oil, and that still didn't help. And so I thought, okay, maybe then I can use a bump key and go in there just to break up anything that I couldn't get with the pick. I had to hammer that thing in with a screwdriver. And basically, the the cylinders, and I wish I had one I could show you, on the top of the kick cylinder. What was that? A spider? Instead of having a cap or something, it was solid brass, but it had brass plugs in the top of each chamber. And when I hammered the bump key in there just to try to break it all loose, those little caps exploded off, and I found all but one of them. And then uh, got to looking at the springs that were falling out, and the springs were completely crushed. I mean, they were pancaked. I'm like, what the hell? This isn't right. And so I took it apart. Whoever had done whatever to these locks, whoever had pinned them up, intended for them not to function because they used something like 300 pins, like the .300 pins in the top and the bottom. So there was no physical way of getting a key in there. It was pinned like that. Now, I've seen that done for commercial properties where, they don't want to do any expensive hardware stuff. They just basically either want you to break a key off in it or make it to where you can't even put a key in there. And it wouldn't pick because I tried picking it, and it was just like, what the hell? And then MTech, the cylinder screw cap retainer pin, that little part on the back, those are a smaller diameter than your standard Schlage ones. And so I didn't have any that were that size at all on the truck. So I told the customer, I said, look, I've got to take these back to the shop. Shop was like 10 minutes away. So I drove them back to the shop, got them apart, and had to rebuild both of those cylinders and then pin them up to the key, put it all back on the door, and yeah. Anyway, basically what was supposed to be a two-cylinder rekey turned into a 2-hour ordeal. That was a Monday. Oh, let's see here. Dana says it's 64 degrees in her house right now, but you're not ready to turn the heat on. Yeah. See, I turned my heat pump, my thermostat to auto, so that way, in case if it gets too cold at night, then it won't freeze up trying to run the AC, but it also won't get too warm during the day. Jay from New York, you're live. How's it going, sir? Let's see. Fred, it was 32 degrees at 7 a.m. this morning, but it's 37 now. Wow. No, No, Fred, y'all, no. That is not my weather. Yeah, Jay, the MTech retaining pin is junk, complete junk. And I think it's because it is such a smaller diameter that it's just asking for wear. I mean, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like MTech. I mean, I do, but I don't. MTech looks good and it's solid. That's the one thing you got to give it is everything with MTech is solid. Like, your latches, your bolts, those are really, really solid, and it takes a long time to wear them out. But when they get worn out, you gotta just completely replace them. There's no band-aiding it back together. I mean, you could band-aid it back together, but I wouldn't do it. And also the other thing that I've learned, because I've actually dealt with a lot of MTech here lately. Like every other residential job I've had lately has been MTech hardware. Because we're located near the lake, so there's a lot of lake houses, fancy hardware, fancy houses. Um, and what I found also is it's pretty much easier and a lot better for everybody involved to have the customers buy their own hardware direct from MTech, just because of like any type of warranty issues. Plus, you're not going to make any money off of it as a locksmith. You're going to pay out the ass, and then you're going to have to mark it up so much that the customer is going to say, well, I can buy it straight from them for, this much less. Yeah, that's what we tried to tell you. Buy it straight from MTech. And I've gotten to the point now where if they have MTech hardware that needs replaced, I'm like, look, take pictures, communicate with MTech directly. That way they can match your finish and your trim style and what you have, and it won't look out of place. And also, if you have an issue like, premature finish wear or something happens, you can call MTech and say, look, I ordered this back 6 months ago and it's doing this. And they'll say, okay. And they'll take care of the warranty process. Where you make it up as a locksmith is MTech is a lot to put together and take apart. So they're going to call you because I mean, I'm sorry to make a broad sweeping generalization, but if you have money to have MTech hardware on your house, then you have money to pay a locksmith to come out and put it on for you. You know, kind of makes sense. Uh, Outlaw Locksmith, good morning. Don't think I've seen you here before. So welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if you've been here before. Can't remember. Let's see. Yeah, Anthony, I don't know why they would do that. And I like that term, borking. But yeah, I don't know why they would do that. Again, I've seen it on commercial properties, uh, and I've done the whole, make it not be able to work thing. But is why would you do that on residential? Especially when you left the cylinders in the knobs alone. I mean, I know all the security is in the deadbolt, but why the hell would you do that? Yeah, yeah, Miko. I bet Miko does not like it too warm. Being a husky. Oh, Dana, I didn't know you had tortoises or a tortoise. That's cool. Um, yeah, it's just it's getting that time of year. I don't like cold weather. I like short winters. I like to wear shorts, and I'm already missing the lake and laying out in the you know on the walkway in front of the house in the yard, laying out in the sun. I miss that. So, all right, guys. So, like I said, I didn't have anything prepared. That's why I grabbed a bunch of crappy locks and put them on here. Uh, this lock right here, the Ellie make that we looked at last week, I forgot all week to grab a different display stand for it. And after yesterday, I had it on my mind yesterday morning. I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab it and go for it. That way I can make some videos on it, get them out this week. And that whole thought process just left me. So somebody remind me, post a comment, send me a Twitter message, Facebook message, whatever, text message, and say, look, you know, remember the stand so you can do your videos. And I will try to remember it. I will remember it and then I will promptly forget it, most likely. Uh, okay. All right, Dana. Yeah. I hadn't noticed that in your profile picture. Okay, cool. I used to love finding like little box turtles and stuff when I was a kid. I still love finding them. I actually when I was working patrol one time, it was it was mid afternoon. It was turtle season or early evening, I should say, and it was turtle season. And there was a four-way intersection. So I was going from spot to spot, and there was a pretty big old box turtle that was about halfway out in the road. and nobody really wanted to go because they were afraid of hitting it. So I reached down and I turned on all the blue lights, got out, picked it up, and sent him in his direction he was trying to go. So I like turtles. Let's see. I think Albert LaBelle and one other person also reviewed that lock within the last week. Okay, cool. I have to look up his channel. Rune sent me the link to when Bosnian Bill actually reviewed this model lock back a couple years ago. I think it was like a year or so before he retired, and I watched it, and it was interesting. I'm going to focus more on the instead of picking it, more on the locksmithing part of it. As far as what I would look for as a locksmith, Thursday, I had a job installing, it was a rekey and then also installing a customer supplied lock. And it was a lever, not a not a knob, and it wasn't a deadbolt either. They wanted it installed on an interior office door. And they handed me the box and said, "Is this something you can do?" And I said, "Well, I've never ever seen this lock before. I can't even remember the name of it. I don't think it really even had a name, to be honest with you." And I opened the box and I looked and I said, "You got this on Amazon, didn't you?" And he said, "I think so." I said, "And it cost about $50, didn't it?" He's like, "Yeah, something like that." Okay, cool. Yep. The keyway for the key override was the smiley face dimple type keys. I said, I pulled those out and I said, "Yep." I said, "This is straight from China." It was, it felt cheap. It went together on the door easily enough. Like it wasn't horrible, and it was connected. Like it would connect by Bluetooth, and so you could actually do it. It had, the remote lock and unlock from the app. It had the combo code on the keypad. It had a biometric fingerprint reader, but it just no. I told the guys that I would never use this on anything that I owned, but mm, what did you charge the turtle with? I didn't charge him with anything. That was a citizen's assist in crossing the road. Thank you. Yeah, Miko, I don't think with this lock, um, yeah, and Fred, I've done that in my personal car too. Um, Miko, I don't think you can rekey this lock. The way that I looked at it, last week on live, there was no uh, release access for the knob to gain access to the cylinder. Maybe I wasn't looking in the right spot, but yeah, I don't know. Don't need to charge turtles. The batteries can last for years. Oh man. All right, so a while back we were cleaning shop and my boss gave me three of these. Grade two lever sets from US Lock. Of course, US Lock is no more. We on the way to a job the other day, my boss stopped by our US Lock uh, distribution point in Charlotte, and they're very nice people who work there. But they, of course, after Home Depot took over US Lock, bought that, they started dwindling down, and apparently they completely threw away anything related to US Lock. So, not even push plates, pull plates, nothing. No pins, no cylinders, absolutely nothing. All gone out of the warehouse. And we needed push plates. And you would think that that's something that they would want to keep. Home Depot Pro, which is what it is now, they would want to keep items like that on hand, but no, they threw them all out. So these are no more. Um, let's take it apart just for the heck of it, just to look at. Yeah, battery's good for 50 years. Yeah, Jay, it's kind of a, for lack of a better term, it's kind of a shit show. Well, I mean, it's sad because we had really, really good reps, and the like our actual rep, he would call, he would call and check in with us and just say, "Hey, you guys need anything? You want anything?" And was really good. And the warehouse people, they were really awesome. Uh, really, really awesome to work with. Just in the short time that I was going there. So, so these are actually used, according to the boss. They were sold to a customer, and then the customer didn't want them or use them, and then return them or something, some sort of something like that. And they're in brown, and also they've got some paint on them. I don't really remember the whole story, but we can kind of maybe take it apart here. I need a pokey tool. There's a pokey tool. Kitties have removed all the pokey tools from my magnet bar. So we can break all this down, look at the parts of it. Let's see, it is, according to the box, storeroom function, so it's always going to be locked on the outside and always free on the inside. Of course, back set's going to be 2 3/4, and 10B finish, which is brown. So yeah, you can see here, inside lever always retracts, outside lever is always locked, and I'll keep the keys with this one, but since I've not picked a lock on here in a while, I figured I'd prove to y'all that I can still do it. Did it, other than the club, did I pick a lock this week? Yeah, I think I did. Um, yeah, I think so. Let's see here. Yeah, Fred, it's like, Banner, we have decent luck with Banner, but Banner actually recently, like a couple months ago, laid off a bunch of their sales team, including our local rep who was awesome. I could call him or email him and say, "Hey, I need some help with this," or, "Can you find one of these for me?" And, he would do it. But they laid them all off, consolidating, and so now you don't have that option. Our new rep, I met him once, and because our Legion rep was taking him around to you know to meet people locally. We ate lunch with him, and seemed like a nice guy, but I don't think we've heard from him since. And our old rep would at least stay in touch with us. Let's see. Dalp, how are you, James? Professional painter removed the lock to paint the door. Yeah, I mean, really? That's why this got thrown out. My boss looked at me and said, "If you don't want these, then throw them in the trash." I said, "I will take them." Just because, you never know. Now, personally, I love it when I get a commercial lockout, and if I have to pick it, it's a clutched lever, meaning that the outside lever will still turn, because otherwise you're like this, kind of around the door frame. You know, if it's not a clutch lever, pray that it's an outswing door, not an inswing. Or better yet, hope that you can just under the door tool it. Yeah, Fonzie, I need to do that today. That's on the list of chores. Plus, kittens don't really know how to aim. I didn't realize that was in the picture like that. I'm sorry. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, Anthony, it is disappointing. It really is about the lock companies. Can't find my straw. Kitty's probably ate it. And like Annixter, y'all met Caesar, and yes, Dana, I've reminded Caesar every time I've seen him about your stuff and Pocket Women stuff, and they've just got him doing a bunch of stuff, and he's running like crazy, trying to make up for, I guess, not having people in other places to do things, and really our flake dealer, HL Flake, they I've been at the shop now for almost a year and a half, and I've never seen them come by. And we get regular visits from Allegion, of course, Annixter, which is Wesco, uh, you know, our old rep from Banner, he would come by, at least like once a month. And, but now we don't see anybody. And Flake, HL Flake has not been there. IDN, I don't think we have a local rep for IDN. If we do, then we've never seen them. And our Asa Abloy rep really, really likes one of our competitors, and he basically only deals with them. He'll take orders and sell stuff to other people if he wants to, but it's kind of disappointing. And I've actually heard stories of other locksmiths who just refuse to do anything with Asa Abloy. What the hell? Okay, they got spooked by something. Flake is flaky. Let's see. Having drinks with your brother and Blaze. Awesome. Good to hear, James. Okay, Dana. Yeah, that'll be good to see Pocket Women back. It's awesome. Yeah, sounded like a tape measure. Four cats scrambling across the wood floor for no reason. Yep. Of course, Cornelia is going back to her spot in the sunshine. Jeez. I swear to God, I can pick a lock. That's not that hard of a bidding. Yeah, Rune, I can understand why you would, deal with them, almost exclusively, from your location. Which, by the way, since you're here and since we said it, and I want to know because I get corrected here all the time. Is it one? Is it pronounced one Asa Abloy or two Asa Abloy? I want to know that because I pronounce it Asa, and everybody around here tells me no, it's pronounced Asa. I'm like, well, then wouldn't it be Asa Obloy? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. So, one, Asa, or two, Asa? Asa. So one. Well, that's from Jay. Jay's from New York. Rune's from the land of Asa Abloy. Jeez Louise. Come on now. Not Arsa. Okay. So rune number one, Asa, or number two, Asa? Because I will defer to your judgment on that issue. Probably not necessary, but you can contact the old. Number one, Asa. Okay. All right, Rune. That's what I thought. I thought I had asked you this question in the past, but okay. I will use this as a reference then. And I will tell people who try to correct me and say, no, it's Asa. I will say, no. Somebody who lives there says that it's Asa. Jeez. Spring on that's really strong. All right, so I'm just going to do this. I can't pick anything today. Miko, I don't think it has security pins in it. I think I just suck at picking today. Because as a locksmith, there are days that you just suck at picking. There we go. All right. So normally, if you're just rekeying one of these locks, you let's see here. You're just gonna take the existing key, pull the lever off the front like I did. These are pretty much all the same. Once you've seen one of them, you've seen all of them. Some of them are just a little bit different. You know, normally when you install it, you're gonna have all this assembled. Your outside lever is going to be on there with your cylinder. You're going to install it on the door, and then come in from the back here, install your spring cage right there. Maybe no. Install your spring cage right there, like that, and it'll all line up when you put it on the door. Come on now. There we go. All right. They do have door thickness adjustments to where you can rotate this, and it will, you can fine tune it for the thickness of the door. Most of the time on a commercial door here in the US, it's going to be correct. So you would put your through bolts here, and then, or excuse me, you're going to put this plate on first. And whenever you do put this plate on, just note that you've got these little teeth that stick out the side here, just to keep it from rotating. So if the door hasn't been prepped for those, then I use the little saw on my Leatherman tool and just kind of notch it out. If you have one of the ProLock through bolt jigs that clamps onto the door to drill your top and bottom through bolt holes, there are two little holes on the sides that you can use a small drill bit to notch out for these teeth, and it'll go in Again, I normally just use the saw and my Leatherman tool to cut out for those. But you would put that on, slide your, see, here's your plate, and you would have a couple screws to go through here to connect the plate to the hub. And then on top of that, you would put your outside spring cage, and then do your through bolts through here. And then once that's on, take your trim and your inside lever and put it all on like that. What I normally do, if it needs to be rekeyed or keyed to their system, I'll install the entire lever first and then remove the cylinder, just like I would, normally for a rekey, kind of like what we've got here. But there shouldn't be any other reason to remove this from the outside. It's going to be held secure on the door if you're just taking the outside lever off to rekey, because all your bolts go through here and hold it on. But just keep in mind, inside and outside both have these little teeth right here. If you've not installed these, or you've installed one and it kind of came out a little funky, then just remember to look for those. Make sure that you notch out for them. Let's have a look at this cylinder. See what was in there. See why I couldn't pick it. Maybe I just suck. Let's see. Let's look at the chat here real quick. Okay. It's one as a. It's been an off week for picking. Spent an hour trying to pick a Harley Davidson Master Lock the other day. There was no reason it should have taken that long. Fred, I'll never forget the little Chinese Master Lock clone that wound up taking, what was it? Half a can of Houdini, one pick, 5 or 6 drill bits, a pair of Nipex, brand new pair of Nipex, and an hour and a half to get off of the job box. So yeah, sometimes it happens. Let's see. We used to pronounce it Ruko. Yep. Well, now, Rune, you should be happy and accepting, because Kwikset is now part of the Asa Abloy family. Wasn't really, really surprising to me, I guess, when I heard about it, but, see. You could say number 2, but you were wrong and should be stoned with master locks. Doubt, that's like when people here in the U.S., when I hear other locksmiths in the U.S. say schleg or slag, or I've even heard locksmiths in locksmith classes say skeg for schlag. It is SCHLAGE, schlag. That's how it's pronounced. And they'll say schlag, schlag, slag, skeg. I mean, I'm going to do like a little 2-second video on that one time. See, the Asa thing sounds like Dr. Locke and his Schlega conversation. Lowell Forbes, good morning. How's the locksmithing life treating you this week? Jeff, yeah, you woke up late. It's all right, though. Be all right. On an OG US lock cylinder, it would have the hump on the bottom of the cylinder. Yeah, this looks like just a regular, almost like what you see in the Dexter commercial levers, which the Dexter commercial levers are just like this. It's the same thing. And here's the bitting. I mean, 55842, It's not that hard. So obviously it's me. Where's something to take the little thingy off with? You'd have thunk I'd done been more prepared. Let's see if I can find a couple small screwdrivers over here. Nope, nope. Where did I put them? I had a couple small screwdrivers. That's been embarrassing. Let's see if I can do this. If you guys, like Lowell and, Anthony, if y'all, something that I found, keep your quick set tool in your pick kit. If you keep a pick kit on you while you're working, comes in handy. That down. With these, of course, make sure that you don't line it straight up with that. You want to go at a 45. It's pinned 5 pins. Nothing in there, not expecting to see anything in there. Let's see if it has security pins in the top. Get my tweezers. Standard, 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 and standard, standard. So yeah, all standard pins upstairs. Just proof that I can't pick. I mean, you're a locksmith now, Tim. I'm supposed to be able to pick. I'm supposed to find the easier ways to do it. I mean, now, if with this lock and several others, and I'm sure the other locksmiths around here who have been doing it for a while know this trick too, but I'm not going to say what the trick is. But if you're a newer locksmith, and I know you, and one of these levers, say, has a Medico cylinder in it, obviously, none of us who are getting paid to do so are going to try to pick a Medico cylinder. There is a way to bypass it. If you can't do under the door tool, if you can't do anything else, there is a way, but I'm not going to talk about that way on YouTube. It's a secret. It's really easy. So, and of course, whenever you put these back on after you rekey, put your key in, turn the cylinder, and it's easier when it's on the friggin' door. Yeah, so that's the right way. That's the right way. All right. What the hell? Get that on. I did turn it that way. Hey, yeah. You see what I did there? Some of y'all did. The tailpiece on a lever always goes in line with the Bible. That, Tim, not the other way. Geez, no wonder you had a day full of Mondays yesterday. Boss and I did a big access control job Tuesday, and he walked up to me when I was doing something. He looked and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "As I have tried explaining to you on multiple occasions, I don't know what I am doing." He said, "I'm starting to believe you." It's like, I'm only a locksmith on YouTube. There. Give it. And there we go. So we'll put this back on over here. That goes on your door. That goes like that. This goes like this. That goes like this. Jeez. I ain't even worrying about it. It's going back in the box anyway. But y'all get the point. So, anyway, you kind of don't want a locksmith sometimes. After after you've had a week, after you've had one of those weeks. All right, we've about worn out our welcome here, so let's look and see what's in the chat. U.S. lock, made in China. Yep. Let's see. Quickset and Ruco sound so far apart. Yeah, I know. Worcestershire sauce. Or Chestershire sauce. That's how you say it, Lowell. Doubt, could Bosnia and Bill not pronounce echidna? I mean, that's echidna. Pretty easy to pronounce. Up at 4 a.m., just busy? Yeah. I actually slept in this morning a little bit. Five quickset tools. Yeah. I mean, I keep quickset tool and tweezers in my pick case. And I mean, this goes everywhere with me. I mean, even when I'm not working, the whole thing goes. Um, Better resetters in here, which that first rekey job that I had yesterday, freaking smart key, two smart key cylinders. They didn't have the original keys for them, and it was just a pain in the ass. And the better resetter actually didn't work. That's first and only time on both of them. Like I don't know, it just would not do. Might be me. Um, why pick when I can bypass the door? Exactly, exactly. DeWalt bypass tool is secret. Yeah, but lol, is a different one than going for the cylinder. You don't touch the cylinder, and it's so easy. Which is why I'm not even going to talk any more about it. I'm just going to say you don't touch the cylinder with the drill bit, and it's so easy. But yes, DeWalt or Milwaukee bypass. Let's see. Maybe Quickset is the level they aimed for last month. Had three callbacks to jam cylinders because factory pin cylinders are missing the driver pin in chamber 2 and caused the spring to get caught. What? Factory pin cylinders were eating springs? Jeez. Remove the hinge pins and bypass the lock? Okay, but what if it's an in-swing door and you're on the outside? How you get to the hinge pins then? Hmm? Under the door tool. I take that like literally. when I get a call for a commercial lockout, I grab, of course, this is always in my pocket. I automatically grab my tool bag and my under the door tool. Automatically. Go for it. All right, Dana. We will see you next week or at Jason's, maybe. Let's see. Stopped by my worker bee's house last night and his front door was upside down. What? His front door was upside down? Now, okay, now I can understand the door being upside down if it had like a little top light in it and he put that on the bottom so the cats and dogs could look outside. I've seen that picture on the internet and I can understand that. But if it's a solid door with no light in it, what the hell? No, I couldn't even walk past that. I've got different finishes, different trim styles, everything all on one door. Okay? And that doesn't bother me because I'm cheap like that. A door being upside down, that would drive me nuts. No, I couldn't do that. Brother's a plumber and his kitchen sink is hot and cold backwards. LPP showing how it sometimes works since 2017. Yep. Oh, the door lock. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, I fixed that too. I do fix that. Like, even just if it's just a rekey, I fix that. No matter how shitty the rekey went, I fixed the upside down keyway. Which, of course, the way that we have our keyways here, pin side up, is upside down for, Rune and people over in that area. Uh, well, and a lot of it is, upside down keyways are twist the lock was the right way up, door was upside down, so is the world. Yep, pretty much. No, I mean, a lot of it you see people will either do it themselves or it'll be a contractor and they don't want to take stuff apart or they can't figure out how to take it apart or don't have the tools for it. And so they slap it on there and it works. But yeah, okay, Jay. So this is like 2 weeks in a row between the 2 1/8 inch hole last week and the upside down door lock was upside down. It's all the studio lighting is blinding me. So that's why I couldn't really read the screen. Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Well, I've made enough of an ass out of myself today, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Had another Monday this morning, I suppose, to continue from yesterday, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Also, y'all mentioned before the hole in the door here at the shop. Now, I'd never use that door anymore because the port's rotted away and it's secured by the deadbolt. I should probably plug something in there now that it's getting to be cold weather, just so it won't get too awful freezing out here. But anyway, so anyhow, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I really appreciate everybody tuning in to watch today. Uh, hopefully next Saturday I will have something a little better in content. This was thrown together at the last minute. I had plans to grab some stuff yesterday after work or from work that I could bring here and show and tell and talk about and all that kinds of stuff. But yeah, that just didn't happen. So today was kind of thrown together. Apologize for it. But anyway, um, let's see. It's called casing the joint. Yep. Or now if Gumby were here, he would agree with me on this. It's called a seam size up. That's the professional way to say casing the joint. Of course, when I ask if when I'm at a commercial customer's location doing work, I'll text the office and say, is this person, like a net 30 payment, or do I need to shake them down for cash right now? Meaning due upon receipt. But anyway, it's an ass of yourself or an os of yourself. It is an os of myself. Uh, Jay, yeah, I'll send you a text. Just watch for it. Um, see, close to turn on the heat here, even with insane natural gas prices. Yeah, I don't have gas. I, I do not have gas heating or appliances in my house. So it's all electric, and the electric bill is already through the roof. But anyway, all right, guys, appreciate it. We're gonna sign off now. Might scare the kiddies with some more music out here, but anyhow, y'all have a great weekend. May your locks be free of graphite, and may you not lose the screws that you drop. Appreciate it. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay out of trouble. We'll see you next time.